Welcome to We Regret Nothing, the only podcast where we argue over which cultural treasures to place in a capsule and blast into space for the aliens that receive it to get the best representation of that decade. To be clear, it is not what we think is the best of that decade. It is what represents that decade the best. Sometimes it may be both, but I will continue to remind my panelists of the distinction. This week, we're cranking the phonograph all the way back to the 1920s, a decade of flappers, silent films, and most people would argue the birth of Hollywood magic. Today, I'm going to reveal the 20 films from the Roaring '20s that made our list. My two brilliant, if frequently wrong, panelists have one goal: debate, bicker, and barter their way down to the 10 most essential movies to represent this decade. Will Chaplin make the cut? Will German expressionism creep its way in? And will someone please defend Buster Keaton with their whole chest? Let's do this. Welcome, Michele.
Hello.
Hello, Andrea.
Hi.
Okay, then. Before we get to the list, do either of you want to tell me your thoughts on the films of the 20s in general?
Michele.
There's a lot of Jesus.
I have that written. I have that too. Why with all the religion?
Well,
I mean, I know,
Yeah.
but still. Wait, did you
I
know?
would.
So a lot of Jesus. Anything else?
Germans.
A lot of Jesus, a lot of Germans.
A lot of
This is
Jesus
going to
and
be
Germans.
interesting. Okay, folks.
No shade to the Germans. Just there is a lot of
We're dark people.
yeah. Yeah. This is true. But also
You see these.
some of the like women are the misogyny is so strong.
Actually, I will say this: the thing I took when I went through this list, only probably 3 or 4 of these I'd actually seen. There's a lot of tropes. And I wonder if this isn't where that kind of started.
Oh, like the femme fatale, or it's always like the
Or the we're competing for the same girl, or
Yeah.
the I'm doing this thing to impress the girl, and I'm gonna steal my boy's girl.
yeah.
That kind of thing.
I wonder if
Girl-
it's also because you couldn't that's something that you can act and emote other than, for the most part, because it's silent. So you need to get that across rather than
yeah, but I
being
wrote the
able.
word trope like 8 times.
I think you just like to say trope. People who say trope are often like, listen to NPR and all that.
Okay, sunglasses.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of structure here for the 1920s, right? Let's just talk America, because I know you said Germany and some other things, but America is coming out of this hyper emotional patriotism coming off World War One. Jazz is just starting to blossom, and Art Deco has peaked, right? For women, you brought up misogyny. Well, let's talk about women a little bit. Knee-length skirts and dresses had just become socially accepted, as did bobbed hair with a finger wave or Marcel wave. And the women who pioneered these trends frequently referred to as flappers.
Yes.
And so flappers, just a little bit, because you two, I think, would be considered flappers in the 20s, but not prostitutes, because I think that was a mistake. Flappers wore short skirts, knee-length skirts were considered short during
Yes.
that period,
Oh, yeah.
right? Bobbed hair, they listened to jazz and flaunted their disdain for the prevailing codes of decent behavior,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's that?
We would have flapped the hell out of it.
That's what I'm saying for you two is they were seen as brash for wearing excessive makeup, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes in public, driving automobiles, treating sex in a casual manner, just kind of flouting social and sexual norms, right? Okay, so you two are the flappers. Back to the U.S.
I was glad he didn't say flabbers.
Stop it. In the U.S., though, we did see, so in the 20s, we see this large-scale adoption of automobiles, telephones, motion pictures, which is our topic today, radio and household electricity. And then on the flip side, this unprecedented industrial growth, with accelerated consumer demand and aspirations, and a pretty significant change in lifestyle and culture mostly in the urbanized areas of the Western
Yeah.
world. But this is also where the media started to focus on celebrities. It really hadn't been done before, where there was this intense focus on sports heroes, movie stars, celebrities.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I see. I didn't want to interrupt you because, well, I always interrupt you.
Well,
But
probably part of that is just like pulling out of the funk of the war,
yeah,
right? And like,
and
let's
having
have
something
something
that,
fun that
and
isn't.
for the most part, I mean, as this is going to sound, and I don't think that we'll have any listeners or viewers that are plus 100, but and if we do, God bless you.
Don't you talk about my nan like that.
But I mean, you could go to the movies. Like people could like, and it was something that everybody like a traveling thing you wouldn't see. Like when we talk about Buster Keaton, he was originally a part of a child in a vaudeville act of his parents. Um, so it would travel, but not everybody could see Buster Keaton at the same time. So I never thought about that. That's when celebrity became kind of, dare I say, the cult
Of
of celebrity.
celebrity.
Personality.
Yeah, but oh well, and so that leads to they start building large baseball stadiums across America, and also start building these palatial cinemas
Those
for
dinosaur
everyone to
cinemas.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah, to go see a movie in this like palatial
yeah.
building.
So
Like how the
just as like a
Pantages is
little side,
downtown.
I was in LA last weekend or
We
whatever.
Humble
know.
No,
brag.
but we walked by a bunch of theaters that
Yeah,
were
'cause
in
we're at the Orpheum,
yeah,
right?
and then but in Glendale, next door to this little bar we went into, there was like a movie theater, and they were playing. I don't even know what they were playing at the time, but it's something modern. They still
Yeah.
use it. But what was unique about it is that it had a courtyard, so you didn't even. There was a box office, like a box office up front, and then gates that opened up into a courtyard, and then the theater entrance was behind that, and it made me think about like, oh, back in the day
Yeah.
when they had a premiere, this is probably like what that was, right? You'd go out and mingle into the courtyard
Yeah.
and then go in and actually watch the film. So I was like, that must be, and it was old, right?
Yeah.
So it must be at least era-esque in that time.
It'd be so awesome.
It was cool.
That would.
All right, so speaking of cinemas, palatial, let's talk movies, and I'll say that this is in no particular order. I just pulled up 20 movies that fit our category, and so that's this order. So I don't want anybody to think that this is rated 1 to 20. It is not. But we're starting with the first movie is called The General. The General stars Buster Keaton. Because I was thinking about what Andrea just said about Keaton started in vaudeville as a kid, but he is the star of this movie. So in 1926, this is an American silent comedy film released by United Artists, but inspired by a true story.
I did not know that.
And the story is during the American Civil War, based on a book called The Great Locomotive Chase. And so let's just kind of start there. So, The General, thoughts?
The thing that I like a lot of the so this is giving away my age for sure, but like a lot of the clips from some of these movies are in the Queen David Bowie video for Under Pressure.
Yes.
And that's like my first like kind of introduction. So the scene where Buster's on the, I don't even know what you would call it, the little bar that rolls the wheels.
The choo-chooer.
On the wheels on.
Did you
yeah.
say the choo-chooer?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the the bar that made
My
and
grandfather
he's
was on
riding
the
on
railroad.
it. I was like, oh, I've seen that
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
right? Like I've seen that. So I think like the imagery in this particular movie is so like when the bridge gets blown up,
Yeah.
and the train like I was like, how the hell in 1920 did they make that look so realistic, right? And I really like when I watched the clip of it, I was like, holy shit, they like that looks like a real like
Yeah.
And there's no way they blew up a real bridge and dropped a whole locomotive off there, right?
I
They didn't
hope
do
not.
that.
No. No.
So it all had to been like modeling, like they used models for that kind of stuff. Because later on you'll see in like the gold
60
rush,
Laughs or-
like the
okay,
gold
okay,
rush.
yeah.
Like you can see that when the cabin's going off, that
Yeah.
it's a it's a cabin, like a little somebody
Yeah.
built one, and they were like, oh no,
Yeah.
right? But that the scenes in this are so, like, the special effects, I guess you would
Yeah.
call them at the time, particularly in this one. That that's what struck me about that movie the most. I think there's a lot of, the still, like, the love, like, I need to be better for this woman I love in order for her to love me back kind of thing. That's prevalent in, like, today.
Yeah,
Even.
this is true. It is. And not knowing, like, when he walks away from joining up, and can I just say fuck the Confederacy? Okay, I want to point that out. That is not, but it's like he walks away and they think like he's being a quote unquote chicken or afraid to fight, not standing up for his beliefs and country, and that that's a Three's Company moment thing that I just drives me nuts when I'm like, you could have just solved this, and as I've been told by people in my life, but then there wouldn't be the movie.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, I
think
get it.
I think you can make a real strong argument for this one making the 10, based on just, like, whatever the special effects, like
Yeah.
how realistic what they were portraying,
And how
looked.
years later it is still something you see
Yeah.
that is still amazing
Yeah,
to see.
I had never. I
well,
still haven't.
100 years later.
Yeah, I still haven't seen this movie.
No.
But I watched some trailers and I watched some clips, and I was like, wow, I can't even imagine, like how was that someone's job in
Yeah.
the 1920s, was to make something that looked, like,
Yeah.
there were, like, artists doing that at the
Yeah.
time. So I think you can make a pretty good argument for this one going in the capsule because of just the sheer way it looks and
Mhm.
all the, like, stunts and special effects. And Keaton did a bunch of those
Yeah.
stunts, yes?
Yes.
Isn't that true?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, so-
that's the whole thing with his family is they were a vaudeville act, and his dad, I mean, I guess the then version of CPS came a couple of times because people were like, this man threw his child into the audience, like literally threw him, and they even sewed a satchel handle into the back of his pants to toss him for better, like, and
Distance.
but Buster Keaton said, and he said repeatedly through the years, he learned how to land. It was how to land, and he liked it, but that's why he got that, like, that he was known for, like, that pure straight face, like no emotion on it, because he would giggle, and his dad would be like, "No, you can't do that." Like, but there was no abuse. This was a family act. I mean, I'm not advocating sewing a satchel in your child's pants and throwing them no matter what, but it wasn't like quite what they thought it was, and he brought the family like renown. So he was able to go forward, and he loved performing. So, like, I don't know. I don't.
He also had a fuck ass bob in this. Sorry.
Oh, boy. So, listen, again, when we circle back to starting to distill down to 10, I think that Michelle's point is valid. There's stunts in this, there's shots in this that have lasted, and so I don't want to shit on your point. But when it was released, it was not well received by critics and audiences, and resulted in mediocre box office returns. I think about $500,000 domestically, but the budget, going back to the budget, was $750,000.
Yeah, because that was insane. Because that's why he had to like kind of work for the man. Then
So
he couldn't be
Keaton,
independent
yes,
anymore.
based on this
That was this
movie
one.
and its lack of success, lost his independence as a filmmaker,
Yeah,
and he was forced into a restrictive deal with MGM.
with MGM.
MGM
UA was Chaplin and Pickford
Yeah.
and Fairbanks was
But
like,
so he
like
gets-
MGM.
He gets shackled in the MGM deal, and kind of a lot of his independence taken because of this movie. But again, hindsight or whatever you want to call it, we and it's not only us. I mean, this is reportedly Orson Welles' favorite movie
Yeah, I don't.
of all
that
time.
doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sorry.
And what'd you say?
I said that doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
But that there are so many publications, but I just grabbed from the silent years. The General was the greatest comedy ever made, the greatest Civil War film ever made, and perhaps the greatest film ever made. That was from a documentary called The Silent Years. So again, when it not loved or well received when it came out, but it has some longevity.
So it's kind of like Shawshank Redemption or It's a Wonderful Life, for not loved when it came out, but then
I can go with that.
yeah,
Yeah. Also, the greatest comedy is a bold it's a bold ass statement considering like the kid is later on in this list.
Yeah.
And also, we'll get to it, but it's safety last.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to it because Andrea's got some thoughts.
Oh.
But anything else about
Andrea
the
has
general?
lots.
No, nothing.
No, I'll make I'll say right now I would like it on the 10.
Okay.
I'll make a play for that one.
Okay. So here we are. We're on movie number 1, and Michelle's breaking the rules already.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah, you didn't make a case yet. No.
Okay. So.
Did you even read the notes?
Okay. So second movie, The Gold Rush, 1925. Written, produced, and directed by a guy you probably heard of, Charlie Chaplin.
Robert Downey Jr.
Andrea. But now here, coming off the heels of what we talked about with the general, the Gold Rush was actually a huge success. It's the 5th highest grossing silent film in history. It earned more than $4.25 million at the box office, which that's about 58 million.
That's
and in 26.
Was it Herbert Hoover president? People had that money?
I apparently.
Was Hoover president?
You know you're not asking me that.
And so United Artists made $1 million off it. Chaplin himself made $2 million.
Well, yeah, because he was United Artists.
He was UA. I understand.
I'm the director, the star, the producer, and I did it in my house.
So a little bit about this movie. So Chaplin reportedly drew inspiration from photographs of the Klondike Gold Rush with a mixture of the story of the Donner Party.
Comedy gold.
So listen, I'm going to make my case for Charlie here. So the Donner Party, snowbound in the Sierra Nevadas, were driven to cannibalism or eating leather from their shoes. Here's the deal. Chaplin, who he believed tragedies and comedies were not that far apart, and he decided to combine these stories of depravity, and horror.
I know that
and
word.
Horror. So he decided that his rogue figure in this movie is going to become a gold digger who joins a brave optimist determined to face all the pitfalls associated with this search for gold, which includes sickness, hunger, cold, loneliness, and the possibility that you could be eaten or attacked by a grizzly. This is a comedy, by the way.
This is a comedy.
Chaplin, in a dream, though, dreams of cooking and eating his shoe, going back to the Donner Party reference, and then how his starving friend Big Jim sees him as a chicken that could be right, like a little and so anything about the Gold Rush? What thoughts?
Okay. Number one, the fact that you thought of the Looney Tunes and I thought of Stephen King's Survivor type. The guy ends up eating
really
himself.
Tells you our level of sophistication.
Yeah.
Andrea is a reader and I watch cartoons.
so foolish.
Well, listen, that's why you're both here. That's a pretty wide gamut. So that's why we're here.
Oh God, this is going to be tough. I do agree with that Chaplin is a genius. Was a genius. I do see it. I do. I think he was incredibly mistreated by this country. And that still like performing for people that like the movie though, not to get all Charlie, but I thought the Gold Rush was pretty well done. I think there's a lot of stuff you see. But I would not say that on this list, because Chaplin does come up again, there's things on this list that he has done that would push the Gold Rush aside for me.
Okay.
So this is one of the ones on the list I had seen. And the reason I had seen it is because of Benny and June.
Yeah.
Because in Benny and June, Johnny Depp does the
roll dance.
He recreates the little rolls on the fork thing. And somebody, I don't even know who told me that. They were like, oh, that's a Charlie Chaplin thing. And I was like, okay.
And it was not Charlie Chaplin who came up with it.
Oh.
It was done.
Learn anything every day.
It was done before in another movie. But he's the person you remember it for. So it's like.
So I went back and I was like, well, let me watch this one. And, and I think again, there's a lot of stuff in it that does not look as good as the other films on this list
Yeah.
look, as far as like, I don't know, production quality or whatever. But again, it's 19, and this one is 25. Was 1925? Is that right? That's what I have in my notes.
The Gold Rush
Yeah.
is 1925.
But the general's 26. So like, how much,
Yeah.
how much in a year difference does it make? Because again, like I mentioned, like when the cabin is sliding
Yes.
off the cliff, you can clearly look at it and be like, oh, that's like a little house model.
can clearly see the
You can put
strings.
little people in there, right? And you're like, oh no. But then, when you compare that against, I thought this movie was cute.
Yeah.
I liked it. I don't know if it's comedy better than, again, like The Kid, but maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Crowd went mild.
So, movie number 3, Safety Last. It's already come up. Made in 1923. Silent film romantic comedy starring Harold Lloyd. Andrea's got some thoughts. Hold those. It includes one of the most famous, what people remember
Hell yeah.
from this movie is Lloyd clutching the hands of the clock, right? The large clock. He's dangling outside a
That gives me
skyscraper.
anxiety.
And so yeah, but film was highly successful, critically hailed, and the movie itself, but that stunt itself probably cemented Lloyd's status as a major figure in early motion pictures. It's still popular at revivals. It's viewed today as one of the greatest film comedies, and I would say this, not of the silent era. It's hailed as one of the greatest comedies. So, Andrea,
You heard a rumor that I might have thrown a fit in the Lowe's parking lot this morning about this guy?
tell me
No,
about Harold Lloyd.
That is unsubstantiated. Okay, number one, he has been, and I agree with this. I read that he was described as someone who reflected the zeitgeist of the 1920s, and I see that, and the look in those freaking round glasses that are, he drives me to violence. Just want to say, big thing on him, founding member of the Hollywood Committee for McCarthy.
Okay.
His love interest in that movie later became his wife, and he strongly urged her to stop acting. But then he relented, but her time had passed. This movie, this is the hard thing for me, because I do have a very hard time separating, as it's going to come out a million times during this, the art and the artist. It's so hard for me sometimes. And I'm going to pull a Michelle. I would probably break this down into our top 10. That's the only time that I'm safety last. I would. Based on,
Andrea is now breaking the rules as well.
that's what, exactly. I said I'm pulling a Michelle, but I want his movie to be. It's part of it. Like I want his movie at flames.
So
Flames.
can I
Heaving.
interrupt you just for a second?
Yes.
Because this is the first time. This is our first episode. We're going to probably say it maybe every episode, maybe not, but we have to have the ability. We don't have to. I would like for us as a group to have the ability to separate the art from the artists, because as we move along, there's some tough ones, right?
70s are going to be rough.
I mean, again, we're
And the
gonna
60s.
butt up against this, but if we stick to the premise of this podcast, if we were, I'm not saying we are, but if we were to put Safety Last in the capsule and send it to the aliens, it's not like we're saying, hey, and it stars a great dude that we love, right? Like that. We're just saying,
Oh, yeah, I
here's a
would put a
film
note.
that represents this decade.
Yeah, and I do, when it comes to the stunts, when it comes to the trope of the guy trying to get the girl, it really does. And it was so much, stunts are so crazy in this. And he also, by the time, because he did his own stunts, they didn't quite let him do that one to the level he wanted to, because he had already lost 2 fingers and a thumb from stunts. So the guy was committed to the bit. That and like McCarthyism, like he had that going for him.
Oh boy.
And he could not point you down the road, but that's on him.
Or hitchhike. Well, he could hitchhike, but only with one hand.
But, see, that's on you.
That's on me. Michelle, anything on safety last?
So I will say that I didn't know any of that. As we're going to establish, I'm going to be the dum-dum. I did not know any of that about him. And I thought, again, I had not seen this. I knew the clock scene because everybody knows the clock scene. I had no idea what the movie was called that it came from, nothing. So when I went in and did some research on this, I thought to myself, this movie sounds funny. Like this sounds like it was probably like a pretty good, like, because there's a clip of him like in the store where he tries to fake being the manager to impress the girl. There's a clip of him like crouched down and walking behind like a cart or something as somebody's going, but then the cart turns and he's still like crouching along the floor, and for what it is, I thought to myself, this seems kind of funny and cute, and it probably is funny and cute.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So I say that saying I didn't even have the opportunity to separate the art because I had no idea about that. Yeah. Do I like that? No. But the movie looked funny to me, and the clock tower, or the clock thing alone.
That just bothers me still.
Yeah.
It's fantastically done. I don't mean it bothers me. It bothers my
gives you anxiety. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so I thought, that one was fun and was probably funny, and
did people love it? I don't know about that. Yeah. They did, like, it did better for them.
Well,
but that was, what year was that?
23, I have, so early.
I could tell you 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the story of how he eventually gets to the clock, like that's part of the synopsis I read. I thought, that sounds totally like right, because his friend keeps getting chased by the police officer, and every floor he's like, I'll be there in a minute, because they were supposed to switch in order for him to not get pinched.
Yeah.
Pinched. But it doesn't work, and that's how he ends up at the face of the clock. And so anyway, I thought, sounds good to me. Okay. Probably,
I like that.
Moving on. Movie number 4, The Big Parade, 1925. This is an American silent war drama film directed by, on this whole list, my favorite name for a director, King Vidor. King Vidor. It's awesome. But it's written by a World War I vet, Lawrence Stallings. And so this is a movie about an idle rich kid who joins the U.S. Army's Rainbow Division, is sent to France to fight in World War I, becomes a friend of 2 working class guys, experiences the horrors of trench warfare, and ultimately finds love with a French girl. But made $4.9 million in the U.S., $1.1 million overseas on a budget of $382,000. So with MGM recording a profit of $3.4 million on its initial release, it is the biggest movie, financially the biggest movie of the silent era.
Wow.
So The Big Parade.
I didn't have a lot.
I didn't make a lot of notes on this. Had not seen it. I loved that the 2 poor guys that he becomes friends with had very, like, of the time, slim and bull or whatever, right? Like, they were very, like...
That, I read about it because I've never seen that. I don't even think I knew of it. It's not even, like, something, like, for when I read some...
Okay.
There was nothing.
And
so
we may come across movies on here where we don't have a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So The Big Parade is really the takeaway is it's
realistic.
The biggest financial...
And the original is lost. The original cut of the movie is it's gone. But they re-released it in 1930 with music. Did like a symphonic, and that exists, but not the. That's got to suck when it's like. They didn't do a good job of watching after these movies or like renewing the rights. Did you read all that on ones like?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get to my favorite one. It's on this list, but Michelle, anything about The Big Parade?
I mean, we got just a couple of war movies.
Yeah.
On this list.
Oh,
and, as much as I don't want to do it, if I have to choose between the 2. Based on what it looks like and how it represented the war, this one. I think it's more about the story than the war, and I think if what we're trying to, again, am I breaking the rules, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
You are.
Do I have a new
It's more. I think
panelist
it's more
next
about
week?
the story and not about what it.
We're gonna find a new
Yeah.
panelist for Andrea for next week. It'll be fine. No. I hear you. I agree. That's good. I want to get to the next movie here. So, Wings,
Yes.
1927. So this is a romantic action war picture. That's how it was put out. But this went on to win the inaugural Academy Award for Outstanding Picture. So at the very first Academy of
have that?
Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Award ceremony, which was in 1929.
Yes.
But it is the only fully silent film to win an Oscar. So not only did it win the first, what's
What's the
that?
director? Wim Wenders or
I actually
Is that a
don't
fever
have
dream?
the director.
I don't think that's true. I think I just made it up.
Yeah, I could look it up.
It also won for the first Oscar ever for best engineering effects,
Okay.
which is now visual effects.
Visual effects. Right. Yeah. But so a couple of things. Wings is the first widely released film to show nudity. So
I
set
have
it-
thoughts about that scene.
Yep.
in the enlistment office, nude men are visible from behind, undergoing the physical exams.
William Wellman.
But so during David, spoiler alert, during David's death scene, Jack is plainly observed kissing him on the left cheek, but very near the corner of his mouth. And so this has led to a pretty widespread interpretation as this is the very first film to depict the first male to male kiss. And so this movie, set a lot of records: first nudity, first Academy, but also even though there's no general consensus, this is the first LGBTQ plus milestone, right? And so, and like I said, I want to be clear. I don't want to misrepresent it. There's no general consensus about which movie in history actually did it, but this might be it.
Oh wow! Did not know. Can we talk about the horrible treatment of Clara Bow? Like just
Sure.
absolutely that poor
Well, let's
woman.
talk about it.
It just number one, great Taylor Swift song. I had to.
Oh boy,
But
I opened myself up for that one.
you did. I mean, I was actually surprised. No, it's just her as a like just the way very Frances Farmer treated, and so it was just like seeing that and seeing the way that it just made me sad. It made me dislike this movie. I know. We're gonna have but how do I say this? I understand like that this movie where it did. This woman got a bad rap for just being attractive and like
Yeah, she was very pretty.
yeah and but she had, depending on who you ask, she had mental problems, but then she didn't have mental problems, but then a lot of sadness. But I think Wings is, and I just feel like it's the Titanic of the very first, like that wasn't the best thing ever. It was just the biggest thing.
I understand that completely.
And that's not because I don't like James Cameron.
Is Wings and I maybe again.
Oh,
like, I
it's
have
not
seen-
the Timothy Daly, Tony Shalhoub
How
show.
dare you? How dare you? I cannot, because some of these. So this is one I had seen because we're all big Academy Awards
Yep.
fans.
I'm
and
sorry,
we,
you have seen this?
I
Yes,
have seen
I've
this.
seen this.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been a long time ago because there was a period of time where, as a single lady, I was set. I'm going to watch all the best pictures, right? And I'm going to go back as far as I can if they're available and watch them all. So of course, Wings was first, and but it's been a minute. So what I can't remember is this, and maybe you have this, Sean. Is this the one where they had like a bajillion D extras and they filmed there was like a big
This is the one. Yeah.
so I just thought, like, if you're gonna, like, for representation of this time and the war and what this was, like, yeah, no shit, they won the best picture because it looked, and it, it was written by a vet, right? It was like, so it looked right.
Yeah.
And my big, so two things. I learned the word billeted. Is it or is it French?
No,
No,
That's your
it's
living quarters, right?
yes, yes.
Learn that today.
You bill it.
Non-military
You bill it.
anything. And then my problem with, and again, and this, I think it's important to include this because I think it does show the times, is when Mary, right, the girl next door who ends up actually going into the service because she wants to do her part, and she ends up finding the one main character guy, and he's drunk as shit, and she takes him home to put him in bed, and when she's changing her clothes, military police comes in, and they break in on it, and they see her naked. That's the nudity.
Yeah.
They see her, and they assume like she's like a hooker, a whore, or whatever, and then she is made to resign. She has to lose her job
don't remember this
for
at
taking
all.
care of her buddy from her hometown. Like, all she was doing was changing her clothes out of a dress that she had borrowed to go to this bar or wherever party, whatever they were at. She was changing back into her military uniform, and she, not he, but she is forced to resign and has to go back to America. Again, sign of the times.
Yes.
To quote His Purple Majesty, that is exactly what would have happened, right?
That's what would happen now.
Okay, yes. But that's, so again, I'm not saying like that makes me mad at the movie. It just is, that is exactly what would have happened.
Yeah.
She did
I
nothing
think the
wrong.
aliens would think we're
Changing her
assholes.
clothes. They should think we're assholes.
I think they're going to think we might bring destruction down upon this earth.
We'll redeem our, we're gonna get
So
shot out of it.
Michelle, you brought the scene, and I know what your point is about her getting her being the one in trouble in that, and so I don't want to take away from that. But the actor in that scene, the male one, he was 22 years old at the time of filming, and he had never had alcohol before. He was really drunk. So he had never tasted liquor before, and it only took him a glass and a half of champagne to really. So he was really drunk on that. So one more thing, you had brought up the extras. They brought in hundreds of extras for this, and over 300 pilots for the filming of this, because the huge part of the aerial battle sequences that they were trying to film, and they required ideal weather to shoot. So the production team on occasion would have to wait 18 consecutive days for the right conditions. They filmed in San Antonio. And so for 18 days, they would have to wait for the weather to be right. So yeah. Anything else about Wings, not the TV show?
Young Gary Cooper, young hot Gary Cooper's, maybe not his first film, but he gets launched into Hollywood from this film.
I don't think this is his first film, but it's
a really pretty small part in this. And listen, I'm a big Gary. Oh my God, love. Don't get me started. Love
well,
but I put that in my notes. Just
I will not.
But I did write, Mary has to resign. Go fuck yourself.
I love that. I love that.
That's a good note.
I love that.
Okay, so number 6, The Phantom of the Opera, 1925. This is obviously a horror film. It's an adaptation of Gaston Leroux's novel of the same name, but starring Lon Chaney in the title role. He's a deformed phantom who haunts the Paris Opera House, causes murder and mayhem in an attempt to make the woman he loves a star. Film remains probably Chaney's most famous. Ghastly self-devised makeup, by the way, which was kept a secret from the studio until the film premiered. So, Phantom of the Opera.
So I've seen this one. I've also seen the musical adaptation.
School Days?
No, please don't sing at all. But one of the things that I initially liked about this was that in a time where women were not shown to have any agency, albeit later she kind of gives it up, not that way. Well, yes, that way too. But Christine tells her suitor, "Go fuck yourself. My career's more important than this relationship with you." Yes. Now, I don't know how into him she actually was, because he was more kind of pursuing her. Yeah. But the fact that she, like, in a time where there was not a lot of "I'll do what I want," right? Being portrayed, like Sean mentioned, like, it becomes that era, right? Yes. we start to see more and more of that. But this was like, she was like, no, I'm choosing my career, big boy. And he was like, mm-mm. So I do like that that's actually like maybe an early, example on film of a woman saying, no, thank you.
Yeah, I do like
Nah,
that.
I'm good.
I do. I actually have The Phantom of the Opera. Fuck no, scary AF. It's still to this day. Lon Chaney. I remember the first time I saw that. I think I was 3. Thank you, thank you. I'm known for my way of word. But the first time I saw it, I was about 3, and because no filters in my family. And that face, and my mom also had a book that I believe I still have it, and it's like horror movies of, and it was up to, and just Cheney's face is on that cover, the reveal. And it scared me. But then what I take exception with, and I think it is a fantastic film, the way it's done, and the way Cheney could make himself look is just insane. The way he was willing to make himself look like he wasn't a bad looking man. I mean, no Gary Cooper, but but um, kind of the artistry of how he could be the man of what, 1,000 faces was his nickname. Um, it's so amazing. What I take issue with is it's always the Phantom's love. She is his love. No, he is obsessed and creepy as fuck. There's no love there. He wants to possess her.
Yeah, it's
There's
We all
no
express our love in different ways.
well,
note to self.
yeah,
Get out of this basement alive.
but yeah, I think my thoughts on it is it's a good film. I think it still holds up. It's still creepy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a similar reaction to another film on this list
Oh,
later.
okay.
But yes.
Okay, so we're on to number 7, Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans, 1927. This is American movie, but directed by a German director, F.W. Murnau. This is his American film debut. And so George O'Brien, Janet Gaynor, Margaret Livingston, and the plot is a married farmer, played by George O'Brien, who falls for a woman vacationing from the city, who's Margaret Livingston, who tries to convince him to murder his wife in order to be with her. While the film has no audible dialogue, though, it was released with a synchronized musical score with sound effects using the movie tone sound on film process. Now we're on more. Listen, the plot sounds amazing, but now we're on kind of like the technical side of this is something new. So, any thoughts about this movie from either of you?
What the hell? That's exactly like this woman who, in the description, she's just there from the city, staying a long time, meets a farmer, and kill your wife. Come to the city
100%
with
I'm
me.
on board with this movie. I would see this movie today. When I read, so I know, sorry, I'm going, but so I knew about the Janet. Okay, so Janet Gaynor wins Best Actress, but it's like a combo Oscar at that time.
Yeah.
She wins for like 3 different things.
Yeah.
But I had only ever seen this movie called Sunrise. I had not seen the like, yeah, the little, the little extra part. I didn't know. So when this was on the list, I didn't know it was that movie. I also didn't know anything about this movie. When I watched the little bit of the clip, there was not a lot available.
No.
And then I read this, I was like, 100% I'm going to this movie.
This
I love this kind of shit.
I would have been with you. It's
That's
very
no reflection on how I feel, like, please, I don't want to, please don't go kill your wives and shit. But like,
good. That's a good disclaimer.
but this, I thought sounded amazing. I would see it right now. I hope somebody remakes it. Imagine if A24 or whatever gets a hold of this.
Oh God.
And remakes it.
Don't get Sean on A24. The artistry and amazing
Plot.
production.
Michelle's on board with the plot.
No,
Aaron is somewhat offended by the plot.
I get it. It's amazing that this plot has through the last 100 years of cinema, this plot's come up a lot. Kill your spouse. We're going to get more into that when it is. It really is. It really is. But I guess I'm like,
I wrote, Germans be dark. That's what I wrote.
I just wrote,
those are my people.
I wrote the fuck type of movie.
also, and I didn't know this, and this part where I think I'm gonna love this is because I learned like all these little bits and pieces
Yeah.
as I'm going through stuff, and and as we get into the decades closer to our decades, um, I'll know a lot more of this kind of stuff. But the Funeral March of a Marionette, the Alfred Hitchcock
Yeah.
opening theme,
Yes.
is where he took this from. It's in this movie,
Oh.
and he heard it.
What?
And that's yes, it's
Okay.
in this movie, and that's where he takes it to use for the opening of Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
I love it.
I knew that it was called that. Like I knew
Yeah,
that was that piece
yes.
of music was called that, but I didn't. I don't know.
I
Didn't
didn't-
know that it wasn't just made for
You know what?
that.
I'm not gonna lie. I
for
thought
that
maybe
show.
like he had it composed or
That's,
he
that's what I thought too, because at the time he
used a blonde actress into writing it for
fuck
him
ton
or
of holes.
whatever.
Yeah. Oh God, Jesus.
Oh,
Here we go.
There we go.
But anyway, yeah. 100% I'm on board.
Yeah.
I would see that today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8, The Ten Commandments, 1923. This is an American silent religious epic film. This is produced and directed by Cecil B. DeMille, written by Jeannie McPherson. The film is divided into 2 parts. So there's a prologue recreating the biblical story of the Exodus and a modern story concerning 2 brothers and their respective views of the Ten Commandments. Lauded for its... What did I say that was funny?
Sorry.
Oh, so again, it's the scenes were lauded as being immense and stupendous. The use of the Technicolor process too, but the big one was the parting of the Red Sea sequence in the movie. The expensive movie here, it proved to be a box office hit upon its release. It's the first in DeMille's biblical trilogy, followed by The King of Kings in 27 and The Sign of the Cross in 32.
I thought the King of Kings was Robert De Niro.
The King of Comedy, Andrew. Why are you on a podcast about movies? But I thought this was interesting. The movie was banned in the 30s in China under the category of superstitious films due to its religious subject matter involving gods and deities. So too superstitious for the Chinese.
Good on you, China.
Yeah. So the Ten Commandments. What are we thinking?
Oh, I just wrote no.
Oh,
Okay.
I elaborated and said, man, fuck this whole joint.
Okay. So what? Give me a little bit of what am I
Specifically
missing
the
here?
second half of this
Yes.
movie.
Okay.
Yes.
Say that again.
The brothers
We
and
can talk again in the 50s about the remake. I will entertain that.
Okay.
But this one,
no.
the second
mom
half,
and
the second half with the brothers,
Uh-huh.
bro, no, nope.
Because they just did Cain and Abel, and then except like it was. Just,
My notes are
And also that there's in the brothers half of the movie where the bad
one,
brother,
David. Was it
I don't
David?
know.
Whatever. Okay, sorry.
But the bad brother, right? He gets tricked, and maybe this is why China said no. He gets tricked by a Eurasian girl, and I read
yes,
the word
Eurasian.
Eurasian, and I was like,
Yes.
oh boy,
Yes. That's it's
So
that.
yeah, and then
And she was a
So
woman
again,
of ill repute.
man, fuck this whole
Yeah,
joint.
it's
That's my whole
yeah, yeah. I don't even wish to discuss it further.
got it. I'm moving on. I took it, but okay. I said I was no. I'll move on. I'll put a period on it. Okay. Number 9, Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ. So we're sticking with the religious motif here. 1925. This is an American silent epic adventure drama film. But this is directed by Fred Niblo, written by June Mathis, but it's based on the 1880 novel Ben-Hur, Tale of the Christ by General Lew Wallace. So the part that I took out of this production cost rose to just under $4 million compared to MGM's average for the season, which was $158,000,
my god.
making Ben-Hur the most expensive film of the silent era. I had to look 3.9 million. Today would be 70 million. So that thing.
That whole chariot race thing.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
See, this is where I'll talk about this in the remake. Talk to me, because all I wrote was not my cup of tea.
I wrote this is too long.
Okay, got it.
Again, I'll entertain talking about it again because, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I think that because of the advances that will be made between the 20s and the 50s when Ten Commandments gets remade, the parting of the Red Sea thing is going to be something we talk about, because again, we're not talking about whether this movie is good or bad, but just how well it represents the decade. And if part of that is the advances that were made in movie making and what movies looked like, then I would love to talk about this again when we get to the 50s. But this one, I guess for the time, but I mean, if you look at the clip, it's kind of, okay. Yeah. And listen, it should not, I don't know, should not be a surprise to anyone in this room, but also the religious motifs.
That's what we're going to get, is it?
Meh.
Okay.
It depends though, because there's some other ones like, later down the line, there's lots of religious
Jesus
motifs.
Christ Superstar.
That's not.
Saved.
I was
Okay.
more the Passion of the Christ, but we'll get there.
Okay.
Was that the one by Martin Scorsese?
Agnes of God. No, I'm just saying. We'll get to some of the religious motifs.
Sorry,
Like,
yes.
it's good. Like, that's a good movie. That's a
Yeah.
good ass movie. It doesn't matter that it's about religion.
Very true. Very true.
Okay. Number 10, The Jazz Singer, 1927. This movie actually is listed as a part talkie, but it's a musical drama directed by Alan Crosland, produced by Warner Brothers. It is the first feature-length motion picture with both synchronized recorded music and, this one's a hard one for me to say, lip synchronous singing and speech. And in several isolated sequences, there's speech lip synced. Its release heralded the commercial ascendance of sound film and effectively marked the end of the silent film era. And there were 6 songs performed by Al Jolson. This is based on the 1925 play of the same title by Samson Ralphson. That's got to be one of my people. The plot was adapted from his short story, The Day of Atonement. So that's just some background. I see some faces being made. The Jazz Singer. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Again, trying to stay on the rails.
Yes.
If this is, we have to show what the decade was like. I think you could make an argument for this, but it's so terrible.
But it feels like
it's
it
so,
needs to come with an apology. Like,
yeah.
it does,
And
like-
also, I did the only, no, I can't even say that. Like, there's the no son of mine trope in this one, right? Like, how dare you?
Yep.
But I listen, for me, I can't get past the
I just got the
blackface.
1,000
I
yard
can't.
stare.
Yeah, I can't. Again, if you want to show representation, because it was well received, yeah, people loved this movie. Yes.
Yes.
So you have to think about like that part of it. People thought this was great, and is that because Al Jolson could sing, and is that because he was a good performer, or did they like it because, I don't know.
It's not that far from the minstrel shows, though. Like, I'm not giving an argument for blackface and like, Jesus Christ, no. So it is a very hard to. And Neil, you didn't need to redo it when you did the crappy remake.
Say a bad word about
was
Neil
so
Diamond. Uh,
If I may, because we're dancing around the issue. I mean, you've said blackface, you've said some other things, minstrel shows, but so what specifically in this movie? What's going on? What is it that we're objecting to?
I'm objecting to that. I know in the time 2025, Andy is objecting to that, and before 2025 also. But I I will probably end up arguing for this movie because of the leaps and bounds that they take with it's the first talkie and with this, but it is like Michelle said, there are the tropes of no son of mine, and then you have to realize too the fact of he is Jewish, his father is a cantor, and he goes away from that. So that's it's an uncomfortable it's uncomfortable white woman moment for me right here. Is to he changes his name to Jack Robin because then he's not Jewish. Yeah, and then the blackface and all that. There's a lot of it's an uncomfortable film to watch. It is one on the list that I have seen, and not the wonderful Neil Diamond remake, Michelle. but it was I love Neil. But it is just one of those movies that I'm like, God, people flocked to this. I think because there was such the showmanship of it, the singing, the dancing.
and there's a good family story in there about, what do you choose, your family or your passion. Like again, it's so hard to get past the blackface part of it. That you're probably right. There's an argument to be made again for it's the times.
Yeah.
That it would represent the
Yeah,
decade.
I'm not excusing it like, oh, well, like when you excuse like your racist grandma, like, oh, she's from a different time, because no, that it doesn't matter. But I'm not excusing what happened in this movie, but I realized that this movie spurred forward film, like everything that they did with the synchronicity.
Lit synchronicity.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking of the police, but
That's me too.
and so I think that it took the film into the 30s, like into the true golden, like, oh, we can do this, we can do all of this. But it's a very uncomfortable movie, but there's gonna be a lot.
True. Well, that is the first 10 of 20. And so for right now, we're going to pause there.
Okay.
And then in the next episode, we will cover the next 10 of the 20. And that seems like a good place to stop. Michele and Andrea helped get us through the first 10 movies on the list of 20. In the next episode, we'll try to get through the next 10. And if all goes well, by the end of the next episode, we will have that list down to our top 10. Hopefully you enjoyed what you heard today. Maybe some laughs, maybe learned something new. If you want to reach out on our socials, we're on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram. If you have questions, comments, any suggestions, we're pretty open to everything. So reach out. And until next week, take care, and I hope to see you then.